Howdy! This is Kristen Brumley, and today we are going to talk about how to put together a saxophone, make a noise out of it, and then put it away! First thing, this goes around your neck and it's going to attach to the saxophone because saxophones can be a little bit heavy. And there are different types of saxophones. You've got the soprano, alto, tenor, and bari. Those are the most popular types. There are other types as well. This is the tenor. A little bit larger, longer size, and there's a hook here that you attach your neck brace to and just adjust. There is this little thing that goes inside of the body. You'll take that out. This is to protect, right here, this is the octave key. There's this little piece that sticks out. This protects that so it doesn't bump and get bent. Put that inside your case. We're going to work on the reed. It's basically made out of like a wood type substance, and actually I think it's made out of bamboo. And this particular brand is a Van Doren Java. I really like it for jazz pieces. It's also got a number on the end. That's the strength of the reed. It's going to result in very different sounds, and it's also going to change how tough it is to play on your embouchure, which is basically the shape of your mouth when you're playing. And what we'll do is we're going to put it in our mouth and we're going to soften it with our saliva. You want your reed to be dampened. Yum. Okay. So now we've got our mouthpiece. There is the mouthpiece guard. You take that off. The mouthpiece is this black thing, and then you've got your ligature, which holds the reed onto the mouthpiece. So now we've got this nice and wet. We're gonna stick that onto the mouthpiece. So the reed goes onto the mouthpiece, and if you can see that, where the position of the end of the reed is in comparison to the edge of the mouthpiece is actually really important. My reed's a little bit old, and so it's a little warped. It's a little hard to see this, but you kind of want that edge to line up with the mouthpiece. Yeah, be careful not to hit the edge of your reed with your ligature because it's very fragile and you'll end up getting a chip in your reed. If there is ever a chip or some sort of cut, it's not going to play correctly. So now that that's placed on there, we're going to return to our neck. So I'm actually going to slip this on top of my mouthpiece real carefully to protect the reed from getting bumped. And inside my case, I have cork grease. Cork grease is, you guessed it, for the cork on your neck piece. So I'm actually going to put a little bit of that on there. You don't really need to douse it. Just enough to apply some lubricant. We're going to take the mouthpiece. I'm going to put it onto the neck. We're doing this not while it is on the body of the saxophone, okay? And we're just going to slide that down on there. So now is the time when we put it onto the saxophone. So we slide that into the body, and this little screw right here, tighten that. Make sure that when you adjust your neck strap and the neck and everything, that it's going, when you pull it to your body, it's going to sit right here on your lower lip, like so. I want to explain why we put the mouthpiece on the neck before you put the neck piece onto your body. When I was in high school, one of my friends on his alto saxophone, he had the neck on and he was putting the mouthpiece on, and he was putting it on a little too aggressively, and he bent the neck. The neck actually snapped. I will adjust it while it's on the neck is on the body, but I never put it on all the way, just because I'm afraid of the pressure that it'll put on my beautiful neck piece. So now that we've got it all put together, we can play. You tuck your lower lip under, like so, and your teeth will rest on top of the mouthpiece, like this. There's a lot of stuff that's going on and a lot of advanced things in order to make a good sound come out of your instrument. The basic thing is that you're putting air into it. You're not going to blow up your cheek like this, because that's not how you play. You don't need that much air actually going into the instrument. So your throat needs to be nice and open, and you want this very steady stream to come out. You can feel it coming up and over. And then what you're using is your tongue da 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 da. You'll actually be using your tongue up against the reed to basically enunciate what sort of sounds you're trying to create. Da 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 da. And there are other articulations that you can create as well. Ta 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 ta, ti 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 ti, do da do da do da. So a lot of it has to do with what you're trying to portray. So now we're going to put the instrument away because it is just as important as playing the instrument. And I'm sure I can show you some more advanced stuff later. So first, I am going to detach the neck. I remember the mouthpiece. I'm gonna just like, oh, spit. That's not actual spit coming out. You'll notice that a lot of liquid will come out of your saxophone. It's been cold. It's brass. It's probably colder than a lot of other things. As you warm it up, of course, there's going to be that condensation inside. And that's really what you're feeling. It's not really so much spit. I mean, there might be a little bit, but that's not really what's going on there. So we're going to start with this mouthpiece. First we're going to take the reed off. So this is an awful thing to do. Don't do this. This is the original thing that my reed came out of, and I'm sticking it back in there. Don't do this. Get a case for your reeds. It's better for your reeds and they last longer. Do what I say, not what I do. Cloth, wipe it down, put the ligature back on top, stick it in your case. Ta-da! Alright, the neck. So this is my little neck cleaner. First goes in the scrubby part, and it's going to go all the way through. This is actually the coolest thing ever. Ka-donk! It's not going to go all the way through because the spongy part's not big. It's too big. So you push it back through. Ba-donk! Alright, this goes back in my case. Kind of gross. Alright, because my instrument is not lacquered, I have to make sure that I always polish it down. I don't really want that much, you know, I don't want all these spots on it, which happens when I leave any sorts of water, condensation, or things like that. So I wipe it down. Get off my fingerprints, all that good stuff. And then I put it back into my case. The body of my saxophone is the same way. So I'm going to detach. I'll take my swab. It goes down into your instrument. Swab it out. This is good for your pads, but it is not good for your pads if you leave it in here. I've seen people who do that. Do not leave this swab inside of your saxophone. It will help rot out the pads on all the keys. So don't. Just put it in here. You're swabbing essentially for condensation. And then take it out. Then you're going to wipe down your instrument. This is good even if you have a lacquered saxophone. Makes it look nicer. It's going to keep it looking nicer for much longer. So I like to make sure I wipe down all the places that I touched, especially the keys. Also around the pads, make sure there's no condensation coming out of them, because it'll start to leave green spots, which I don't want, and around the bell. Once that's all done, remember this little guy? I replace him. I put it back inside the case. This thing goes outside of the instrument, and then I make sure everything, oh, I forget this every time. Neck strap off of your neck and into the case. I used to keep score. How many times my saxophone got me on that one. Close the case. And you're done. So that is how to put together your saxophone, make a noise, and then put it away. So make sure that you subscribe. I really like subscribers. And, you know, find me on Twitter and the Facebooks. Make sure you check out my past video and also my next video, which I will link to there. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. The coolest people play this instrument, and the coolest people like this instrument. Anyone who doesn't like the saxophone is stupid. Don't... Says it on Wikipedia, guys. What?